Now, what in the carnival is going on here? We currently have a very big situation, a conundrum, if you will, that's currently taking place on board a Carnival cruise ship right now. Specifically, we are talking about the Carnival Sunrise. There is a passenger that claims that they are being held against their will inside of their cabin, given very little food, and, well, they're being treated, as he says, quote unquote, prisoner. He did put out a very long video. I wouldn't say detailed. If there was ever a time that somebody could say a lot without saying very little at all, this would be it. However, I'm going to show you guys the video clip. I'm going to chop it up a little bit. That way you guys at least get some context and, well, this doesn't drag out. I have a couple clips actually I want to show all of you. And, well, this is a very serious situation, as the passenger is claiming that they're going to file a lawsuit against Carnival. And, well, they're asking, or a lot of people that are watching this, they're tagging John Held, the ambassador of Carnival, hoping that he'll speak out on this to give some clarification. And, well, just watch the video clip and we'll go over the details after.
Bro, so whatever you do, never take a Carnival cruise sunrise, bro. Never take this, bro. I'm telling you, never take this. So it is now pressing maybe 26 hours, 27 hours that I've been locked in this room. You feel me? It's pressing like 27 to 28 hours that I've been locked in this room. Not allowed to free roam the ship, not allowed to get off the ship, not allowed to interact with any other guests, not allowed to participate in any of the activities involving this whole voyage. This voyage doesn't end until Thursday. It is Monday. I'm not allowed to leave this room until we get back to port in Miami on Thursday. It is Monday. And I've been locked in here since Sunday. And it's not because it's some big emergency or no like that. It's just because they found out that I have a history of depression. They found out that I have a history of depression. They found out that I've been depressed before once in my life. And they decided that the best action to take is to lock me in a room for 96 hours. 96 plus hours and pretend that I don't exist. That's their course of action, is to pretend that I do not exist for the next 96 hours for my $2,000, for me and my girlfriend's hard-earned money. They'll just pretend that I don't exist because I have a history of depression. They'll lock me in a room and pretend that I don't exist. They won't feed me. They won't allow me to go out and get some fresh air. Even prisoners get 15 to 20 minutes of rec time. So at this point, I'm below a prisoner. So my advice to anybody ever wondering what it's like to be on a Carnival cruise ship, fam, I'd say never do that. Don't ever, do not ever spend your hard-earned money on a Carnival cruise ship, bro. Because if they find out anything about your history, they will lock you in a room and have 4 to 5 security guards stand guard outside of your room to make sure that you do not leave and you do not participate and you do not have fun. For your money, they will make sure that you do not have any fun or leave this or leave the room. I haven't been able to leave this room. I haven't been able to leave for a full 26 to 27 hours. And anytime I show any signs of wanting to just get out and parlay and just, you know, be a human being, is when they call more security guards. They're just like, yeah, no, you can't leave. You can't, and you will not leave. I've broken no law, policy, or rule to this ship. Not that I was hanging off a boat or, you feel me? Just that they found out that I have a history of depression. They've locked me in a room until we get back to port in Miami. We are right now currently on our way to Grand Turks. Once again, I violated no policies. I've broken no rules or laws. I haven't been disruptive. I haven't made a scene. I haven't done anything. No one will hear anything that I have to say. All they have to tell me is to get back in my room and shut my door. They bought me stale bread and bitter coffee. My girlfriend still has free access, free roam to the ship. Once again, I remind you that I am not a criminal being held captive only with a different name. Like they call me a guest, but I ain't even allowed to go and eat. I ain't even allowed to go to dinner. I'm gonna take the court. I want a full refund for my entire trip. And then some, for all types of emotional and mental and physical harm that I've received on this boat. Nobody can tell me what I did wrong. Nobody can tell me anything. All they can tell me is that I need to be in my room and out of the way of other guests. I was standing in the doorway 15 to 20 seconds ago. Well, a couple of minutes ago. They were threatening and brought more security and threatening to throw me in the brig. I have, once again, a history, meaning before in the past, a history of depression. They claim that it's for my safety that I stay in my room with my door shut, and I have 2 to 3 security guards on standby ready to tackle me, attack me, and harm me to make sure that I don't harm myself. They are more harm to me than I am to myself. So if you're ever thinking about taking a Carnival cruise, my advice is to save your money, because I'm taking these to court.
So before we get into the details of all of this, as you can see, it was a lot. And well, I have another clip that I want to show all of you of the girlfriend that is currently on the sailing with this gentleman when he's out in the crowd explaining to the security, as well as, for some reason, a lot of people crowded in a big area as far as what's going on with the entire situation. The reason I put these types of videos out, because I know for a lot of people, I always say my channel is not everybody's cup of tea. It never will be. I could say that maybe my channel can be somewhat controversial because I talk about topics that literally nobody else in this space, at least when it comes to a channel this size, talks about. But I do believe it's important because this man is claiming, or just telling everybody, not to sail with Carnival. And you guys know I'm a big advocate for cruising. I think it is a great, unforgettable, no hassle form of travel and experience like any other. And well, when people speak out like this, these videos tend to go a lot more viral than people that are talking about drink packages and potentially the next new biggest cruise ship that's coming out next year, except for maybe Icon of the Seas that's gone viral. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the details of the situation. Now, in this clip that you just saw, as this man is putting it, he was minding his own business. He allegedly paid $2,000 for a cruise, which sounds reasonable for the sailing that's going on. I believe it's like a 5-day sailing out of Miami, going to the Caribbean, stopping places like Grand Turk, and then coming back. They're at a sea day right now. And well, these things, minding his own business, out of nowhere, the security came and collected him and threw him in the room. He's getting no sunlight. He's not allowed to leave the room. Apparently, they're mocking him in other languages. The only thing he's getting as far as food is stale bread and coffee, and he's being threatened with being thrown into the brig if he continues to act out, because he has to just stay in the room, which I'm going to go ahead and assume is maybe an inside cabin, but I can't be sure and I can't confirm it. He is claiming that the reason that all of this is happening is because Carnival somehow, some way found out that he had some kind of mental issue, but he's saying that all of this that he went through was years ago, prior to him even coming on board the cruise. Now, that may be plausible, but my question to all of this is, how did Carnival find out, and what is the severity of this? This man is claiming that he's never tried to self-delete himself. I can't say a lot of words here because YouTube will flag it, and then I'll get all these emails, and the video will be taken down or at least demonetized and all that stuff. I don't want to go through all that, but you guys get what I'm saying here. He's never tried to do any self-harm. He's never tried to harm anybody else. He's never broken any laws. However, he's saying that he had a history of issues from the past. I do wonder, first of all, what kind of issues we're talking about. He's saying that Carnival just out of the blue just kind of picked him up and put him up in the room, which honestly I think is a little suspicious. There has to be more context and more details that maybe he is not telling and divulging for whatever reason. He did say in the video that he conducted activities, whatever that means, and Carnival out of nowhere just decided to find this man and put him in the room. However, there is another video clip I'm going to show you guys here in just a second, because a lot of this just simply does not make sense. I think most of you, if not all of you, will agree with me. If we're going to take the side of this man, I want to make it very clear. I'm not trying to demonize him. I'm not trying to criminalize him. I'm not trying to make him be the bad guy. But the fact that there is lack of information here is going to be a head scratcher, and it's going to raise a lot more questions than we have answers at this point in time. He is currently sailing with his girlfriend, and she's allowed to roam around the ship freely. In fact, she did so, and somehow inside of the elevator-like area, there were people gathered around over there, a lot more than there normally is, like I said earlier. And she's talking to the security and explaining the situation, saying that her boyfriend has done nothing wrong. She's trying to prove it's innocent, saying that it's both of their first times on a cruise ship ever, and they don't understand why this is happening. Just take a listen.
very different situation.
It's a different situation because they want to lie and cover up the fact that this man has been locked in his room since Sunday night. He has not made a threat to anyone. He has not made a threat to harm himself or anyone on board. I went to the front desk to ask for an all-call page like we have all heard them do for several other people. They instead called security. They said that he is a danger to himself. And I would like for someone to call someone, go to a desk. If anyone cares, this is my last plea.
So what did he do that made them lock him?
He wouldn't talk to them. He was sitting in a restaurant in the Lido deck with his bag, and he just wanted to sit there. They wanted him to leave and go back to his room. It was about 10:45. Everyone was still out there. No one else was being asked to leave. They said it was not a good look for him to be on the Lido deck with his bag because everyone is here to have a good time. They have admitted multiple times that they are locking him in there to not disrupt other passengers. I am allowed to be out here, and I will disrupt, and I will continue to talk, and I will continue to advocate to every person with an ear because this is not right. This is our first trip. This is his first time out of anywhere near Virginia, and it has been ruined. They have refused refunds. They have refused us to leave.
What's the number?
1426 is our room number.
This way.
This way. His room is that way. He is currently being safeguarded by 2 security at his front door. He was told that if he touches the doorknob, he will be put in the brig. I have been told to stop talking. Thank you.
Looking at all this from somewhat of a neutral perspective, to the best of my ability, the only thing I can think of, because as you can see with the girlfriend, she is a little bit distraught, she's a little sad, and she's stressed out over the situation and the well-being of her boyfriend, understandably so. This is definitely going to be a traumatic situation. The only thing that I can think of as far as CARNIVAL just out of nowhere finding her boyfriend and locking him up in the room and threatening to take him to the brig is that maybe, I guess, usually whenever you go on a cruise, whether you are using your birth certificate or your passport to get on board, you could potentially be flagged should you have some type of outstanding warrant. And there are situations where people have indeed been arrested upon arriving back to their home port once the cruise has concluded. Maybe he has some history, or maybe there could be potentially, am I saying that there could be a crime or some type of issue that flagged CARNIVAL. If this actually is what happened, in which CARNIVAL said, hey, we have to go detain this man, we do believe that he is a potential threat or harm to himself or others. They're saying that he was walking around with a bag and he was outside, and it made a lot of people worried, or whatever the case may be. However, on the other end, I do wonder if there is a situation that happened on board which did flag the attention of potentially other guests or maybe even the officers. I can already tell you there's definitely going to be a part 2 to this video. Hopefully John Hell does actually make everybody aware of this situation to see what's going on, and then we can have a little bit more clarity as far as what actually happened and why this is happening. Because one thing that I do understand, as somebody that has worked for multiple cruise lines, I have seen both crew members and passengers that have been detained inside of their room, and there wasn't just some issue of an investigation. The cruise line knew for a fact that something had indeed happened, and they had a legitimate, valid reason for locking somebody inside of their room. Once again, I'm not trying to pick sides. I'm not saying that CARNIVAL is clearly in the right here. I'm just saying, based off my personal experience, CARNIVAL would not risk a lawsuit. They would not risk a big fiasco that's going to go viral all over the internet for something like this to happen. So in such a way that it's to a point to where everybody's going to be talking about it and people aren't going to be wanting answers to this particular situation. But I guess we'll have to see. Like I said, there is going to be a part 2, so I don't want to make assumptions. I want to get to the facts and see what's going on. I'm going to do some digging as well, talk to some of my sources. I do believe I have a friend on board the CARNIVAL Sunrise, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, of course, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. I know there's going to be a lot of conversations that are going to be had. Just keep it civil with this whole situation. I know when it comes to situations like this, a lot of people can take things out of context, or they can get mad at me, or they can get mad at somebody else in the comment section. Just calm down. We'll hopefully get to the bottom of this, and well, maybe we'll have some type of end result that everybody is satisfied with. But of course, guys, hit that like button. As usual, I love and appreciate every single one of you. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you later. Take it easy.